Hi, it's Nicola and welcome. Today's topic is a book review, Johnathan Thurston, The Autobiography with James Phelps. If you're looking to write your own autobiography, stay with me till the end as I have a free giveaway for you. If you haven't come across Forever Young autobiographies before, welcome. It's the place where we learn to write life stories for family and friends so that unique memories can live on for future generations. I'd love for you to like, subscribe and follow the show. Now today's topic is Johnathan Thurston, The Autobiography. Now if you're in Australia, you probably know Johnathan Thurston is a rugby league legend or great. And my sort of lasting memory of Thurston is kicking a grand final winning goal during extra time. Now he's gone on to do lots of things, state of origin representing Australia. But after he retired recently, out came this autobiography. It's really a good idea if you're writing yourself life stories to read other people's examples of their stories. And today we're going to jump in and talk about Thurston's book and what we can learn as life writers. So jumping in, give a bit of an overview about the book. So it starts with Thurston growing up, his first experience with football, which was being a ball boy for his dad, for his father's games. And then he becomes addicted to learning to kick different ways, and he joins club league football. But then he wants to go to the next level, but he's sort of being told that he's too small and he hasn't got the frame. He's desperate to keep going and become a professional. There's things that are holding him back here. There's poor grades. He's hanging out with the wrong crowd. There's late nights. And it's not until he keeps pushing through this and he gets the opportunity to join his team, the Bulldogs, that things start to change. He gets to take part in a winning grand final. He represents Australia. He's part of the State of Origin winning series. Then, of course, there's getting in touch with his Indigenous background and finding love. So it's a really, full-rounded story here. It's really worth a read. So that's a little bit of the background to the story. But as writers, I want to highlight there's probably three key things that stand out to me in this book that we can take away and put into our own writing. Now, the first one would be that Johnathan really does lift the lid on all the skeletons in his closet. Now, I'm talking about there's him when he was young. He and his teen friends breaking into cars and sheds. Not proud of it, he says, but this is what they did. Also drinking too much. And there's some run-ins with the law as well. Now, he does this to help others in that position to stop, think and change their actions. So I thought that was really great. He is a rugby league great, in the public eye, and he's willing to just air these skeletons in the closet so others can learn from it and to, not do the same thing basically. So that's point number one. Point number two is that Johnathan really does show all his emotions in this book. He doesn't hold back. For example, there's more times than I could count that he writes how he was crying, from good things and from happiness and from sad things. And here is a footballer as tough. You wouldn't expect them to put in their autobiography about all the times that they cried. But I think that this really does make him appear more human and us as a reader more sympathetic. And this is a great idea for your own writing. Let your emotions show on the page. Now JT goes a little bit further and he also includes his self-doubts. For example, when he was kicking that match-winning goal, he had self-doubts, and at the end of the game, he didn't think he was worthy of all the accolades and awards. So that was ticking through his mind at the time, and he's written that in the opening pages. Now, as a fan watching that, I thought he was the consummate professional kicking the goal to win the game. But, underneath all that, you have that, it might be the illusion, but JT or Thurston's come forward and said, no, look, I have these doubts. And that's, as a writer and as a reader, it's the authenticity shows, and I think it's really valuable. You don't want to just skim across the surface with your writing. You really want to tell people what happened. So that's the light and the shade. So there's 3 writing points that we can take away as life story writers. Now, a little bit to finish up this show today about the actual book and the writers. Now, the book came out as hardcover. I think it was about 416 pages. It was Harper Collins Publishers Australia, and it's divided into sections and chapters, and it's roughly chronological. It was a joint project with James Phelps. He is a sports journalist and had interviewed Thurston many times. He's gone on and written, he's an author of true crime books as well. But Phelps says, look, I thought I knew Thurston, but until I started this project, I realised I didn't really know him at all. So I found this too when I was helping my grandmother write her autobiography. Until you start a joint project, you're really just skimming across the surface. Lots comes out when you start doing something like this. Now, Thurston says he's humbled that people want to read his story. And a closing quote for this is that he says, it's a sort of a teaching point for all of us, is that it's not necessarily the successes that has shaped his life, it's the failures or the difficulties. I thought that was a really great point to end on or wrap up with today about his autobiography. So I hope this is a really good intro into Johnathan Thurston, the NRL Cowboys and State of Origin great. Most importantly, I hope that it inspires you to get started on your own life story and write with honesty and heart like a footy legend. If you'd like to know more about this book review, I've got it all on my website. There's a whole article on it which goes into more depth. It's Forever Young Autobiographies, Johnathan Thurston. So go take a look at that. While you're there, leave me a comment. How did you find the book? Or have you got another book that you'd love to let me know about that you've enjoyed reading? A life story, whether it's an autobiography, a memoir, a biography. It'd be great to share different titles. Now, earlier I talked about a free gift for those starting to write their life story, like JT. And it's a Structure Success short video training I've got for you. Now, the details will be over at the article at the website, or I'll leave those for you to just click the link. It's basically helping you get a chapter outline for your book. Basic outline. It's a really handy way to motivate you to get started and to always have something to write about so you don't get that writer's block. If you'd like to, you could please like, subscribe or follow Forever Young Autobiographies. It helps other people find us. I'll be back again soon with another topic, so until then, happy writing.